Do you feel you're part of the establishment, or are you still the person you were at the beginning?
I've never seen myself as part of anything like that. Certainly not part of the establishment. Probably by now, it's a matter of how people view me. Is it just because I've been around so long, I'm obviously part of an establishment? Everybody has to make your own mind up about that. I'm not established as far as I'm concerned, you know. BBC Television presents Tony Hancock in Hancock's Half Hour. Lord Bute of Normanhurst, James, 4th Duke of Rivermount, Sir Giles Sanderstead, 17th Earl of Westerham. Oh, the history that lies between these pages. Title created in 1263. Isn't that marvellous? Oh, to be in England now that gents are here. H. Here we are. Sir Hilary Hattersley of Huntingdon. Henry, Duke of Hanbury. Thomas, 5th Earl of Heston. That's where I'd go. In between those two. Hancock, 1st Duke of Cheam. What a lovely sound that has. The Duke of Cheam. Think of all the pubs I could have named after me. Just see it, my old portrait up there in a high wind, swinging backwards and forwards with the best of them. Who shall I let have it? A big brewery or a free house? Come on, boys, what about a pint down the old Duke of Cheam tonight? There's immortality for you. Ah, the postman. What do you want? What do you want? You don't come in here and say, what do you want? You say, you rang, sir. I know you rang. It's up on a board. What do you want? I think that's what it's called. Go and fetch the letters in. You go and get them. What do you think I am, a lackey or something? Until such time as you can pay for your room and board, yes. If you don't like it, you can load up your barrow and leave. Just wait, mate, just wait. One good night at the dogs and I'm gone. Enough. The familiarity of the below-stairs staff is becoming quite ludicrous. No wonder some of the great old families have pushed off to the Bahamas. Don't know if ever since you got hold of the second-hand copy of Burke's Peerage, you've gone right off. Any more of that back chat, James, I shall make you clean all the silver again. All the silver? 2 British Railways forks and a sugar spoon from Margaret. Oh, honestly, Sid, you're hopeless. You've got no idea. I'm supposed to be a gentleman's gentleman. Let's have a little delicacy. Go to the pictures and see how Arthur Treacher does it. Go on. Go and get the letters. There's a good chap. Yeah, blimey. Shall I bring them here in the drawing room, sir? Can't you see I'm reading? This is the library today. Go on, be off with it. I'll have to get rid of him as soon as my title comes through. He's all right as long as I'm a commoner, but I'll have to get a professional as soon as I've had the sword on the shoulder. A mail, sir, Your Highness. Thank you. Any news from the Prime Minister? No. The final rate demand, half a dozen soap coupons and the gas bill. Well, I'll send the soap coupons to the gas company and tell them to knock them off my account. You sure there's nothing from number 10? Oh, blimey, don't you ever give up. The New Year's Honours list has been out for months now. They've had the draw and all the winners have been picked, and your number hasn't come up, same as your Ernie Bond. They don't run it like the Ernie Bond. Picked for the services of the community. I can't understand it. I've been overlooked again. I thought I was a stone bunker this year. Alec Guinness got a knighthood, why shouldn't I? Oh, I get it. You're jealous. No, I'm not jealous. Not carping about Alec. He deserves it. He's a good lad. Never drunk, no punch-ups. Credit to the profession. More power to his elbow. But I think I'm entitled to a little recognition as well. I told the Prime Minister when I applied for it, I put my qualifications down. 3 years in the Home Guard. I stood alone round here, mate. The only thing between Hitler and East Cheam. Guarding the highways of the nation I was. Every night, lying in the bushes on the roundabout, waiting for them. That's not enough for a knighthood. Well, there were other things. They took my front gate to build a battleship. And they never brought it back after the war, I might add. I did everything they asked of me. I dug for victory, ate more potatoes, went to it, kept mum, carried me gas mask. Surely these things must count for something. What more do they want? But everybody in the country did all those things. You can't have 50 million dukes and duchesses knocking around. Good afternoon, sir. The Earl of West Drayton has come to empty your dustbin. What are you talking about? Well, I still feel I've been slighted. It's not only Alec. It's all the others as well. Sir Lawrence Oliver, Sir Ralph Richardson, Sir John Gingold, all that mob. It's good enough for them, it's good enough for me.
But they got their knighthoods for their services to the theatre.
And what about my services to the theatre? For 12 years now, I've graced the British stage with my performances that will never be seen again.
That's true.
Sneer, that's it. You never did see me in pantomime, did you? My rendition of Buttons had a depth of meaning which astounded everybody who saw it. And I did it without a guitar. Old performance in the best edition of the Russian Theatre in Stanislavski.
You mean you didn't get any giggles?
I didn't try to get any giggles. I saw the part as a tragedy.
Tragedy? Blimey, it was a disaster. You got paid off on a Wednesday, didn't you?
That's got nothing to do with it. I was ahead of my time, that's all. They didn't want me to use the method to play Buttons. That shows you what fools they were. Okay, as soon as you wanna go to the ball, ha, ha, ha. Yeah? Okay, well, get this sweater and the jeans on, kid. Get, yeah? Yeah. Who the big slob with the wand, Of course, they're all doing it now, but I was the first, mate. I reckon that alone's worth an OBE. What about my charity work for the theatre?
What charity work?
Founder of the Fund for Destitute Comedians.
Well, what good is that? You're the only one who's drawn on it.
It's not the point. The thought was there, and my home is always open to out-of-work actors. They know they can always come there and get a meal and a bed for a paltry sum.
10 knicker a week, paltry.
Well, some of them made good money in their day. I don't see why I should suffer. But never any recognition at all, not a nibble. Any little knick-knack would have done. A couple of garters and a bath, I don't mind. I'm not fussy, it would have been nice. Given a bit of prestige to the television show. Sir Anthony Eccleston.
It doesn't matter what you've done, mate, you'll never get a knighthood. You can't carry a title like that living in these cheap rooms.
No, well, of course, I realise that, but if I did receive an honour like that, I should naturally move to more knightly surroundings, back to Hancock Towers. The old baronial hall, I never told you about that. A marvellous place. One of the stateliest homes of England. Gothic motives with Romanesque perpendicular trace. A gem of architectural beauty. The great sweep of the drive. One of Capability Brown's masterpieces. Approach through great iron gates with the family crest done in gold leaf. The majestic building rising out of the valley. A marble doorway flanked either side by heraldic beasts. Rearing rhinoceri with crowns on their snouts. The turrets and battlements commanding and solid. The huge centre tower hewn out of the solid rock of old England. The east wing and the west wing bespattered with arrow slips through which sped 1,000 arrows, built to withstand the onslaught of invading hordes and the ravages of time, a lasting monument to the glory of mankind.
What happened to it?
It fell down. Anyway, if I got a nut, I could start recouping the family fortunes. I could gain my rightful inheritance, Lord of the Manor of East Cheam.
How much is that worth?
That's it, Sidney. You can't value things like that in terms of mere money.
Well, what's the good of it, then?
What's the good of it? Only that it entitles me to ride on horseback into the council chamber in full armour with me sword drawn, that's all. That's the gift of a pancake from each of the villagers on Shrove Tuesday.
Oh, well, if I was you, mate, I'd still forget it. Television comics will never get knighthoods.
Well, I don't see why they shouldn't.
Because it destroys the old dignity of the thing, that's why. You can't have knights and earls galloping around shouting, "Hello, my darlings, aye, aye, that's your lot." You gone mad?
No, I suppose not. How can I get a title, Sid?
In this game, boy, the legitimate theatre, that's the only way. You got to get in with the cream. Wolfett, Olivia, Richardson. Not a comic among them. The old Vic, boy, that's the game. 2 Hamlets, 1 King Lear, and you're halfway home.
Sid, I think you're right. Of course, I've been approaching it the wrong way. A professional fool can't hope to compete with international heavies the like of what them are, are. I shall have to brush up on my Shakespeare. I've got a copy of Treasure Island somewhere. You remember Robert Newton in that marvellous picture? I'll have this straight acting off in a couple of days. Then, as you're my agent, you ring up the old Vic and tell him I want to do Hamlet.
You can't just ring up the old Vic, "I want to do Hamlet," just like that. They got a waiting list. Michael Redgrave's before you. He's got his name down.
Do you honestly think they're going to mess about with Michael Redgrave if they can have me? Come on, we'll go down and speak to them personally. Now, you better run me bath and lay out me clerical grey shade 3.
That's the one we got lagging the pipes outside, isn't it?
That's the one, yeah. Yeah, put an iron over it and put a couple of buttons on it, eh? Well, it won't be long now. Page 709. Hancock, Anthony.
Yes, of course, Rafe. We'd be thrilled to have you do another season for us. Yes, any time you like. Yes, I've spoken to Larry. Said he'd love to do another Lear with you. Oh, yes, of course, he wants Lear. Yes, that's what I thought you'd say. Well, look here, I'll pencil you in for Much Ado sometime next year. Jolly good. Bye.
Good morrow, gentle sir.
Good morrow. Oh, what can I do for you?
You, sir, can do nothing for me. I wish to go straight to the top. I never bother with minions. Kindly inform old Vic I'm here, I'll go straight in.
I'm afraid there's no such person.
You don't mean he's passed on? Oh, I am sorry. I'll have to send him a floral bouquet. Well, who do I have the pleasure of addressing then, sir?
I'm the managing director of the Old Vic Trust.
Well, that's all right, you'll do. Now, put me down for a fortnight of Henry V, Part 1 and 2. I'll be back in the middle of April. I can fix it in between Finsbury Park and Bolton.
I'm awfully sorry, but you have the advantage of me. Who did you say you were exactly?
Tell him who I am.
This is Tony Hancock.
Anthony Hancock.
Yeah, Anthony Hancock.
Oh, you still have the advantage of me. What exactly do you do?
What exactly do I do? My dear sir, either you're jesting or you're looking for a punch up the hooter. Hancock, the actor.
Oh, you're an actor.
That is so.
Yes, I'm afraid we don't do auditions.
Auditions?
We only employ known actors here. If you leave your name and address to the casting department, they'll let you know if there is anything for you. Good afternoon.
Don't scribble when you're talking to me, mush.
How dare you? I'm just signing the race contract.
I don't get who's contract. Is that all he's getting for a week? I say, this is much ado about nothing, isn't it? I thought he was at least on a monkey.
My dear sir, actors do not perform at the Old Vic for the money. They act here for the prestige.
Oh, don't give me that. It's an income tax fiddle, isn't it? You pay him in onces after the show, I know
We
it.
do not pay them in onces. This is all any star gets at the Old Vic.
Let's get out of here. I can get you more than that for a baked bean commercial.
Yes, I think your agent's quite right. I think you'd do better with the baked beans. Now, I'm a very busy man. If you don't mind...
I'll put my cards on the table. I'm after the knighthood. And I'm not going to get it with the baked beans, am I? He's quite right. The prestige means more than the loot. Well, when do I start?
I got a better idea. Get the knighthood first and then come back.
No. I've gone into this. I know how it goes. The Old Vic, then the knighthood. Now, stop playing about. You've had Frankie Hardy. You can have me.
Yes, but we don't know your work. I mean, we have a very high standard here.
Ah, well, if that's all that's bothering you, we'll show you something. Give him the funny walk. This kills him.
He doesn't want to see the funny walk. He wants to see some acting.
Oh, well, do the bit I like you doing.
What, the bit I do in front of the mirror?
Yes, you know, Hamlet, when he's on his Todd up there on the roof of Helsinki Castle.
I assume you mean the soliloquy.
Yeah, he can do that as well. Go on, impress him.
Yes, all right. Which shall I do? Charles Norton, Edward Everett Horton, or the Robert Newton?
I think Robert Newton's your best.
Right, his soliloquy from Hamlet. I take it you're familiar with this scene.
The work has been performed here occasionally.
And I don't want to flog myself to death if you don't know what it's all about, you know. Right, we'll take it that the wings are over here. So I make the entrance in here with the parrot on my shoulder and the crutch. Then I go...
Just a minute, a parrot and a crutch. I don't recollect a parrot and a crutch in Hamlet.
This is my own interpretation of the part. Do you mind? Every actor has his own idea of how Hamlet should be played. And I see it with a parrot on the shoulder and the crutch. That's all there is to it. Give the artist a little leeway in his characterization.
Yes, but you can't depart completely from the author's conception of the role.
Are you arguing with the actor?
No, I'm
All
not.
right.
But
I enter with the crutch and the parrot. Yeah. Now put that fag out, do me a favour. Let's have the lights down a bit, and if you've got any coughing to do it now, let's get it over. Right, we're on then. To be or not to be? That is the question. When it is noble in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, Jim lad. Or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end.
get out.
I beg your pardon?
That was terrible.
Hey, wait a minute. You can't talk like that to an artist of his standing.
Sidney, please, you're my agent. Don't speak to that gentleman like that. Punch him one. Get stuck into him. Go on.
Now, listen, gentlemen, there's no need for violence. I may have been a little hasty in my judgment, but you must admit your interpretation was a little unusual. Shall I give you some advice?
Go on.
I think you need a little more experience before you appear at the Old Vic.
I
Well,
beg
not
your
very much, but just a little bit of, how shall we say, polish. I mean, you wouldn't like to jeopardize your career for the sake of lack of experience, now would you?
No, of course not. Well, what do you have to suggest?
Why don't you go away? Yes, that'd be a very good idea. Go away and join Shakespearean Repertory Company. It's the best experience in the world. All our stars have started like that. Then in a few years' time, well, say a few months' time, you can come back and we'll see what we can do for you.
Very well, I shall acquiesce to your suggestion. I shall join a repertory company. I shall be back here for the autumn season. So pencil me in for Henry V, Henry VI, and Dick III. And Henry IV, Part 2. Or is it Henry II, Part 4? Well, you'll have that sorted out by the time I come back, of course. Oh, by the way, when you're making the nameplate to put on the dressing room door,
Yeah?
leave a little space in front of the name, eh? Don't want to screw another bit on for when the knighthood comes through, eh?
farewell to thee, blithe spirit. If, do you do Shakespeare here all the time?
No, not all the time.
Yeah, well, I just had an idea. If we turn the place into a theatre club, put a few saucy birds in, you know, artistic poses, I think we'll be onto a few, Nick. They call it the Sid James Review Bar. Just a thought.
Indeed, I'm sure, Mr. Hancock, but do you mind if I give you some advice?
Well,
Well, I feel you need a little more experience before coming to the East Team Rep.
Do I hear it right? Experience to join this seedy company? You've already seen what I can do. And I might add, I don't give audition to any old hobbly-hoy who asks me.
I admit that your interpretation was original, but we do not play Hamlet with a crutch and a parrot at East Team.
What can you do with such uncultured fools? No wonder we're known as the barbarians of Europe. Imagination, sir, that's what the That's what the theatre lacks. Watch it over there. The star's talking. I don't think you quite comprehend the honour I'm offering you. I'm willing to tread the boards of this tatty playhouse and lift it from obscurity to a place of national prominence.
Well, if it's all the same to you, we prefer to remain obscure. Here at East Team, we play Hamlet in the wigs and the tight, or not at all. Have you tried the theatre workshop?
I'm an actor, sir, not a carpenter.
Well, I'm very sorry, but you must have experience. We do not take beginners here. To act in Shakespeare, you must, as it were, start from the bottom. Do you get that? Shakespeare, Midsummer Night's Dream, bottom. Now listen, you go away and come back when you've had a little bit more experience.
Very well, Violet, I shall take my services to another management. And when you're old and grey and your grandchildren ask you what you did in the theatre, you'll be able to tell them that you turned down Sir Anthony Hancock because you said he had no talent. Good day to you. Come, Sydney, we will go elsewhere.
Here, if I could get a licence, would you be interested in putting on a few girly shows, you know, taking them off, a few artistic poses, members only? No? He's right, mate. You haven't got any imagination.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortunes, Tim lad, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing hands. Thank you very much. And now, I haven't finished yet. Oh, yes, you have. And now, for the first time, at the Stratford Arms, we welcome that little lady of striptease, Maisie Sprocket, who will do her famous Dance of the Seven Lions. What a fiasco. Cultured lot. It is your fault. When you said you got 2 weeks at Stratford, you might have added it was a pub. Yugoslavian Riesling and a packet of fags, please, Harold. I'll pay you at the end of the week. Not good enough, Sydney, an artist of my calibre appearing in the 4-ale bar of the local boozer.
Best I could do.
Well, I'm not satisfied. The Prime Minister will never get to hear of me working down here.
No.
Sure his talent scouts never go into boozers?
No.
You listen to me.
Yes.
Surely you could have got me something better than this. Still been a big draw. You're not listening.
Oh, she's a little cracker, isn't she?
I'm your client. Pay attention when I'm talking to you.
Free to go.
Disgusting. I don't know what pubs are coming to. What chance has Shakespeare got against that kind of entertainment? You wouldn't applaud and clap if I was to get up there and take my socks off? Anyway, as I was saying...
2 to go.
As I was saying... How many?
2.
Oh. I say, that's a bit racy, isn't it? It's not supposed to be all right, is it?
Yes, it's all right.
Yeah, I can see that. Hello, want to go?
Thanks, sir.
Shut up. She's taking her time over this one.
Yeah, well, she always does. She's taunting us, you see. Here it goes.
She's gone. What a figure. Thank you, Maisie, my little darling, eh? And now the Stratford Arms are proud to present one of our regulars, Rupert Troy, who will sing Because.
Because you come to me with notes of love.
Oh, no, I can't stand this. I'm going home.
You can't go home, boy. You've got another show in half an hour. 3 shows a night for 2 months, remember? And with all that experience behind you, we can go straight back to the East Team Rep.
You come
Oh, no, 2 months of this, I couldn't stand it. Another glass of Yugoslavian Riesling, Peter.
Sweet Raniero.
Oh, no, give us the whole bottle, mate. I've had enough.
Come in. Oh, it's you two again, is it? Didn't I tell you to go away and get some experience?
I've had more than enough experience for you, sir. Tell him. 2 months at Stratford.
Stratford? Really?
Certainly, I got a recommendation here from the management. Gave complete satisfaction to our customers in his rendition of Hamlet and never once was found drunk on the premises. Signed the manager. Here we are.
Very impressive. Any press cuttings?
Press cuttings? Yes, I've got one here. The Brewers Gazette. The best thing seen at the Stratford this year.
Brewers Gazette? That's a strange paper to be reporting stage activities, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they were having an outing, you see, and they reported it.
Oh, I see. And they were impressed with your new interpretation?
Naturally, they were knocked out with it.
Well, what's good enough for Stratford's good enough for us. We've never had anybody here from Stratford before.
Good. Well, I shall play 3 title roles, Richard III, Romeo, and Julius Caesar. My own interpretation, of course.
Of course.
Right, then what about the contract?
Yes, well, we'll pay all our top stars £7 a week plus the national allowance stamp.
Well, we got more than that in the pub.
What? Where?
He said we spent more than that in the pub entertaining after the show. You know how it is, Larry and Viv and all that lot, you know. And as we all know, they're not half a pint of bitter merchants. No. They're gin and tonic and glasses of red stuff with cherries in them and all that. Well, look, I want all the publicity I can get. I want you to get the Prime Minister down with all his talent scouts. Of course, when I get to the Old Vic, I want to be a big name. Now, I want to get the whispers going round now about the knighthood, right? It won't be long now.
Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. Is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by the son of York. And all the clouds that lowered upon our house in the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Through yonder window breaks is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief.
Good morning, cuz. I'm the agent, Daddy. Have returned to offer our services.
Oh, yes, you're the one I told to go away and learn a trade, aren't you?
Not learn a trade, learn the trade.
Oh, yes.
Well, I have, tell him. 2 months at Stratford and 2 months at East Cheam Rep.
Oh, really?
So, what about it? Yeah, you promised him if he got some experience to give him a job.
So I did. Tell me, do you know all of Shakespeare's works?
All of them. Which would you like to hear? Titus, Much Ado, King Lear, I know the lot.
I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to sign you up for the whole season. 5 of Shakespeare's greatest plays. What would you say to that?
Child's play. You couldn't have found a better leading man. At last, a star at the Old Vic. Just to think that Maisie Sprocket could have been Lady Hancock. I told her not to mess about with that bloke who sang Because.
winter of our discontent, may glorious summer by the sun of York, and all the clouds that lured upon our house, lured... Prompt.
In the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Ha ha, Jim.
In the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Ah, Jimland. Prompt.
Why don't you learn the lines? Knighthood, they can't even see me.
Please.
No.
Give me a line.
No! I'm the star down here. Here I am now, is the winter of our discontent. To be or not to be, that is the question. Once more in the beach, dear friends. Here I am down here. What about the knighthood then? Hancock's the name.
Give me a line.
Not getting the knighthood through my talent. Any request, any part you like. I've come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. Any part you like. Here, I'll Punch and Judy. Hurry!
Seemed a long shot, I'm sure, but what if they offered you a knighthood?
I would have to say no. I'd hang out for the peerage. Anyway, I wouldn't let that family near me with a sharp stick, let alone a sword. By now, I'm comfortable everywhere. You know, I'm comfortable with royalty. I'm comfortable, you know, with assholes, and comfortable all over the place. At the same time, I'm still well aware of where I come from, and that, I mean, a shining example of what can happen if you're talented and lucky like me. My heart aches, and a drowsy numbness pains my sense, as though of hemlock I had drunk, or emptied some dull opiate to the drains 1 minute past, and Lethe woods had sunk. 'Tis not through envy of thy happy lot, but being too happy in thy happiness, that thou, light-winged dryad of the trees, in some melodious plot of beechen green and shadows numberless, singest of summer in full-throated ease.
Are there things that you hated as a young guy that you now like?
Virulin. Yeah, you know, little things like that.
everybody say, ow! And everybody say, ow! Everybody got to be ready to say, ow! Well, you heard about the Boston. Well, now, honey, it's not one of those. Well, I'm just talking about the midnight. Well, the one you never see before. It's called the Yellow River in anger. Oh, it's just a night shopping, tippy toes. Oh, just a shoot of day, pretty bad, chained up. Everybody got to go. You listen to the midnight river. Play easy, easy as you go.
Stage, you might be knackered, but with thousands of people in front of you going, yeah, man, and you're getting this incredible feedback and energy, and they're singing the songs for you. I mean, you could actually not bother half the time. No, it's a feeling that can't really be described. Unfortunately, you can't all do it, can you? But I've been there, and it's my job. You go out there, man, on stage, and you have a huge audience who paid their goddamn money. Come see you, and they're giving you all the love they got, and you feel kind of honored, and you just try and give them the best you got. How can you fail? I mean, you can screw up or whatever, but you know, it gives you a feeling that, man, you know, if they're here and they're giving me this amount of energy, I'd rather croak on stage than like flake it. You know, I go out there, man, and I want to do it as a little bit better than I did it the night before. And I think there's a collective feeling in this band. They're never, any of them go out there and say, oh, they're going to churn it out. It wouldn't be possible with this band. It's, in that way, they're workaholics, including me, probably worse than the rest of them. It's an amazing job, man. You know,
You know, I don't mind doing another half an hour, you know.
Whoa, whoa, yeah, my brethren, you got to know yourself. In this your time, man, you have the mind. You get carried away by captivity, carried away by captivity. In this your time, although them say themselves, Jah, the 30 pieces of silver. Jah shall live forever. You might go come with lightning and thunder. In this your time, anyone can tell a lie, but the truth reveal itself. Oh, you are gonna say that you love Jah Jah, yet you fight tribal against your brother. In this your time. Delilah knew what she wanna know. Samson, he got to take the blow. Man have to know himself, don't you know? Birds tangled by them feet. Man have got tangled by them tongue. So it was written, so it must be done. In this your time, yeah. In this your time. In this your time, yeah. In this your time, yeah. Oh, you want to say that you love Jah Jah, yet you fight tribal against your brother. In this your time, yeah. In this your time, yeah. In this your time. Delilah knew what she wanna know. Samson, he got to take the blow. Man have to know himself, don't you know? Birds tangled by them feet. Man have got tangled by them tongue. So it was written, so it must be done. In this your time, yeah. In this your time. In this your time, me brethren. In this your time, yeah. You got to know yourself, yeah. You have to look in yourself, yeah. Oh, my brethren, yeah.
Straight about. Give me a Neapolitan.
Make mine a tutti frutti.
Whoa, come on, halt! Whoa!
Howdy, Joe. Sure glad to see you.
Howdy, Slim. Glad to see you, too. Yeah, turning chicken, eh? Get out of here. taking that kid. Oh, the posse. I'll see you later. Hey, waiter. And now, my proud beauty, I'm a-getting that kiss. Hey, now, wait a minute, Shorty. You've been a-dogging me all through this picture. Just who the heck are you, anyway?
Why, haven't you heard? I'm the hero. Hey, waiter. My hero.
How about kids? Obviously, being a father changes everything.
Father, yeah. That's what's supposed to happen, you know. You're supposed to grow up, have kids, and you love them, and you grow them up as best you can. I've got 5 grandkids. I was in my room here last night. There were only 2 people in the room that were not from my loins, and there's about 10 people in the room, right? One was Marlon's wife, Lucy, and one was my wife. The rest of them, Jesus Christ,
Responsible.
I don't know, they're all mine. They all got my blood running in them. I have granddaughters. I don't even want them to leap on me and say, "Grandpa, I love you." I just woke up, you know. But, you know, you can't deny it. It's like, come here, give us a hug.
What do you get from them?
Oh, love. You give it, you get it back. Simple as that. We all take care of each other and stuff like that. And it's, I mean, hard to put into words, but it's love, really. Family's family, and, you know, they don't make a big deal out about it, but somehow, miraculously, my brood is incredibly lovable. Right, time to walk the dog. You know what I mean? Check this out while I'm gone. The late, great Etta James.
You know that nighttime is the right time to be with the one you love. Oh, baby.
people are willing to look into the future is who goes home with whom.
Oh, be with the one you love.
Bicycle Thief, made just after the war in Italy. How I got to know it, art school. Once a month they would show, they'd have a movie. Bicycle Thief was my first introduction to Italian movie making and the different way of telling a story, the relationship between the boy and the old man and editing. That's where I first became aware of, they chop them up. And I always remembered it because it wasn't Hollywood.
Yeah.
There's a different way of looking through the lens, and therefore there were many other ways of looking through a camera and capturing what you wanted and to tell a story. It was, to me, an eye-opener, like the movies are not always made in Hollywood or at Lion Studios or Elstree. The Bicycle Thief is the thing that there's a place called Europe out there, and they know how to look at things too.